Today marks the start of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It is a problem affecting a lot of Valley families. Channel 5's Stephanie Rosales with a closer look.
It's an ongoing cycle. According to Cameron County DA Luis Saenz, victims of domestic violence ultimately deciding not to follow through with their case, which can lead to even more violence.
It's a cycle to that violence too. It'll start with verbal abuse. It'll start with some pushing. It'll graduate gradually into, serious crimes where we even have, victims that are homicide victims as a result.
Saenz says it's been even worse during the pandemic, especially when people were forced to stay in their homes, leaving victims at even more of a risk with nowhere to go. A Cameron County prosecutor says there were 700 reported cases of last year, but he says that number is actually much higher.
Quoting a study from 2007, that only 1% of all cases are actually reported to the police. That means there were about 70,000 instances of domestic violence last year in Cameron County.
And in Hidalgo County, a bride walked this morning as officials there also announced the start of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The DA echoing the words of his counterpart in Cameron County about the importance of victims getting help.
We want to make sure that we remind the public and our citizens that there are resources out there that could help them and the relationship that there are and save their lives as well.
And despite how difficult it is for many victims to speak up, officials in both counties say it's a step that can ultimately save a life.
The most common thread that we see in domestic violence cases is anxiety by the victim, fear by the victim, that no one will believe them, that no one will support them, and what am I gonna do if he's put away? And the more frightening question, what am I gonna do if they let him out?
If you are a victim of domestic violence or know someone who is, there are numerous organizations throughout the Valley with resources to help you. You can also call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That number is 1-800-799-7233. In Brownsville, Stephanie Rosales, Channel 5 News at 6.